NSW, what have you found out about someone that you would never tell them you know? In elementary school, I saw one of my best friends eating pizza somebody had thrown in a garbage can. I found out a bit later that his dad had lost his job, and his dad, his 2 sisters, and his mom were living on the streets. But he would have died from shame had I told him that, I know. But my mom found out from me, and she bought him and his sisters lunch cards for the year, and breakfast cards. The school lunch lady told them that they won them in a raffle. I love your mom, and not in the usual Reddit way. I found out that my friend got a girl pregnant, told her he'd take her to an abortion clinic, but then never showed and she had to take herself. I learned this from the girl's roommate. I don't think I'll ever tell him I know, but I lost a lot of respect for him. I found a stuffed Lola bunny doll with a hole and CM stains at a friend's house. Found out more about him than I bargained for. My grandma let it slip that when my mum first had me, mum started looking for places to leave me because she was going to leave my dad. Oh grandma. My father steadfastly believes my mother died the day after his birthday. In reality, she died on his birthday. He's blocked this change the date to suit his needs, and no one in my family has any intentions of setting that straight. Well, if it lets him cope, then it might not be so bad. I can't imagine what that's like, but it must be a terrible reminder every year on a day that is supposed to be celebrative. I'm sorry for your loss. That they were planning to commit suicide a day after my birthday, so I held an extended get together for that weekend and tried to help make his life better as much as I could without being too obtrusive. My best friend once slept over at my house and he slept on the couch. He's 18. He wet the bed and blamed it on the cat. I knew it was him, but whenever it comes up I blame the cat too so that he doesn't feel embarrassed. My boss is freaking her boss and tries, very poorly, to hide it from me, while saying stuff like, oh I gotta leave early to pick up my car from boss house today, bye. Maybe she's hinting that you should follow her example. My brother had a bunch of little earrings in a bowl in his room when we were 15/17 respectively. I used to put them in my recently pierced ear to see what other rings would look like. These were small, slightly curved barbells, so they were different than the studs I had in. A few months later I heard through the grapevine that my brother had a dong piercing and thought, yeah, that's about right. I only realized years after the fact I was putting his dong rings in my ears and had been asking him how they looked. He's never brought it up or mentioned it. Way to go, dong ears. Helping an elderly friend use her new MacBook Pro so she could look at her son's honeymoon pics that he'd shared with her and the rest of the family. After setting things up on a little projector in the lounge, we all gathered round to watch the slideshow, which was beautiful. They went to Mauritius and South Africa. All was going well until we got to the close-up pictures of them going bareback and the CM shots. Holy wow. The parents are in their late 60s, early 70s. I didn't even think the father had registered what the heck he was seeing, but the mother, super proud upper middle class type, practically died on the spot. The other son swiftly unplugged the projector and we all sat in silence for a moment until the father said, well, at least we know they had a jolly good time. We've never spoken about it again and definitely not told the son and daughter-in-law we know they had gone bareback on their honeymoon. What kind of motherfucking psycho doesn't check the folder before sharing it? Holy frick. The day after we bought a new car, my wife hit the garage door and scruffed a plastic mudguard. She freaked out and called the dealership, which was an hour away, then drove there and back to have it replaced before I got home from work. I found out because the new mudguards are sold in a pair and the other mudguard and a receipt were hidden in one of the garage cabinets. I have never told her that, I know. When I was 15, my mom asked me to fix her phone because the internet wasn't working. After poking around for a while I figured it out and went to test it. When I opened up Google, her top searches were how to make my husband love me and how to make my husband notice me. My dad has been cheating on her most of my life. I'm 20. When her and I talked about him cheating, she said she was used to it and was just staying with him for my sister and I, and that she no longer really loved him. I believed her up until that point. I never told her I saw that. This is heartbreaking. Edit. And now heartwarming. I found nude pics of one of my friends online. I guess she was modeling on the side. My brother is actually my half-brother. Always wondered why he didn't look like my dad. Same. Also, my sister is my half-sister. Neither siblings know. They think my dad is their dad. My dad is the one who told me. Edit. We're all in our mid-30s now. I've known for about 10 years. My mom doesn't know that I know. I don't have the heart or balls to tell any of them. My cousin's husband has been having affairs for years. He is a high-powered business person, travels frequently and pretty much is a woman in every port. I know this because I interned at his company for a couple of summers. I didn't disclose we knew each other and only a couple of people in the office knew we had ties outside the office. And everyone seemed to know what was going on. I didn't have the heart to tell my cousin at the time because she was a Sam with 2 young girls, but the reality I was young, stupid and afraid to tell her. The years passed and it became more and more evident she knew exactly what was going on, but tolerated it because she enjoyed the lifestyle he afforded her too much to give it up. Guess we all make our choices in life. Found out that the parents of one of my good friends from high school are avid swingers and have tried to swing with the parents of most of my friends. Luckily I have no idea if they have been successful, but I'm not gonna tell my friend either way. I'm pretty sure my wife thinks I can't hear that she farts as soon as she gets in the shower. The other day I woke up from a dream where I was walking through a department store and was just absolutely disgusted with someone in the dream store farting with reckless abandon. As I woke up, I realized it was my girlfriend farting in her sleep. Finally, one I can answer. I found out my cousin is gay years ago. He hasn't told anyone. We come from a very conservative southern family and it isn't my place to tell anyone. I'd have told him, but I found out by looking at his Reddit account and I feel bad enough about betraying his privacy. I'm sure you're probably reading this now because you're freaking addicted to Reddit, but your secret is safe with me, dude. I never told my mom that her contact for my dad was called SX God back in 2009. I bet $100 that dad is the one who named himself in the contacts. One of my best friends, going on 14 years or so, fricks his sister. It was not uncommon for me to stop by and just walk into the house, knowing the family so long. Well, one day I walk in and bam, brother sister were getting physically intimate, on the couch, in the middle of the day. They did not notice me, so I just slipped back out. I don't pop over there anymore. Good thing they didn't notice you or you'd probably have gotten pushed out a window. My cousin and I were playing on his dad's laptop when we opened a folder containing a bunch of close-up of shots of a dude getting a BJ from some Asian girl. We were in the middle of the living room surrounded by family at the time, so we quickly closed the folder and shut the laptop without saying a word. It wasn't until later that I realized that I had most likely seen my uncle's schlong at a variety of different angles. Found out a friend got fired from a job because he got caught jerking off in the walk-in freezer. I followed one of my old co-workers on Tumblr. I know, several years ago, and forgot about it because she stopped using it. This year she started using it again, but her Tumblr turned into a p-blog for her DDLG relationship with her husband. I would be cruising down my dashboard and suddenly see a video of her in a frilly dress getting reamed in the butt or what have you until I remembered to unfollow her. I hear ya, unfollowed. I found my brother's Reddit account. He tried some stuff physically that I would rather not know, and definitely would not want him to know that I know. I knew that my husband's former boss was getting fricked by a police officer at work while her husband listened in on the phone. Her husband is the one who usually set it up. My husband and I never told her we knew that, but it taught me that even the most vanilla couples on the outside can be real freaks in the sheets on the inside. I feel so naive when I read things like this. I can't believe crap like this happens. Not me, but my friend. I lived in central Missouri during high school and I wasn't out of the closet yet. They're not too friendly to my kind round them parts, I tell you what. Anyway, I was at a play rehearsal and backstage getting ready. I left my phone up front in my seat where everyone would hang out waiting for their part to rehearse. My boyfriend at the time texted me something that would obviously out me. My friend grabs my phone cause it goes off and he thought he'd play a little joke on me and reply something funny in my stead. When he saw what was texted, he just locked my phone and put it back. He never told anyone and kept it to himself until I came out 3 years later. I've had the most profound respect for him since. Maybe not what OP was looking for, but he never told me or anyone about it. Props, brother. That I stole my best friend's keys, shoes, belts, and shaving razors in order to save him from attempting suicide. He was incredibly drunk and in the worst mental state of depression and anger I've ever seen, and he was searching for his keys so he could drive home 4 hours, but while he was on a tangent in a different room I stole his things. Shoes because shoelaces. He was searching for those keys for hours in the early AM and I searched with him all night. When I finally got him to bed I returned all his things. He's much better now and has gotten help. You did the right thing and playing it off was only the icing on the cake. Great job, seriously. Have a wonderful day. That they were named in honor of someone who killed his wife and then himself, leaving several kids behind as orphans. That's unfortunate. The dad of one of my friends is terminal. She already lost her mom when she was younger and she has a younger sister still in high school. She hasn't told anyone, but I found out because my cousin dates her younger sister. She still seems so happy all of the time. He wasn't supposed to live to see 2018, but he's still around, which is nice. But it still pains me whenever I see her, You should remind her that you're there for her. Sometimes people don't want to burden others with their problems or sadness, and it takes an olive branch to show you are there and can talk anytime. Accidentally stumbled across nudes on the internet from a girl I know. Some properly kinky stuff and requests, etc. We were never particularly close, but it's still something I'd never say in a million years. My boss's daughter is a stripper and has no clue that I know. My boss doesn't know either. I found out a married woman at work was having an affair with an ex-co-worker. She'd go out for lunch and get laid pretty regularly apparently. I was helping her with an Outlook problem one day where one of her emails wouldn't send and Outlook would crash. She asked me to fix it since it wouldn't open properly anymore and she couldn't get any work done. So I started working on the problem, conveniently right before lunchtime. All I did was remove the account from Outlook, then restarted the client app, re-added the account, and everything was good. The offending email was in her sent items instead of stuck in her outbox, and referred to the guy wanting to see M on her T. She said he could see M anywhere he wanted, on her face, on her T, in her P, in her butt, wherever, so long as they got a room this time instead of fricking in the back of a car. I was caught a little off guard with that, and confused when she got knocked up a few weeks later with another co-worker's kid. It baffles me that people use work email or work issued laptops to do things like this. It just screams idiotic unless you want to get caught. I once stumbled upon my little sister's browsing history. She was around 11 years old at the time. Most of the searches were P-related. Not unusual. Both my girlfriend and I have talked about when we first started looking at P, and it was around that time or sooner. Nurse at work was having a problem with her phone. Being a tech guy, she asked me to see if I could look at it. Honestly have no idea what I did to fix it, but guy found so much P, full videos etc. Recently found out that my grandmother has cancer. I don't want her to know that I know because I want her to just enjoy my company and take her mind off of it. Frick cancer. That their dad cheated on their mom and they have a half sister they don't know about. His brother was the one who posted a picture of him on our roast. Their Reddit usernames. I know my brother's username. This worked out well for me when I made a throwaway to use on our 4R looking for a man to have a threesome with me and my partner. My brother responded. I hadn't attached pics or any identifying information, and luckily I saw his username before opening any of the pics he attached with his response. We both laughed it off and have never discussed it again. Wife hates getting physically intimate with him, and they haven't done it in almost a year. Surprising to me, this is much more common than I would have thought. I found out that my mom starred in some P at least once and probably worked in prostitution in the past too. Well, it's not really a secret, since my parents joke about it with me. Freaking weird. It makes me uncomfortable, but my mom was a Japayuki when her and my dad met. It's pretty awkward when people ask what my mom was doing in Japan when she met my dad. While at my house playing D&D, she abruptly went to the washroom. Later that night after people went home, I found dried poop on the wall and floor surrounding my toilet. How such a short girl could get feces up that high, I'll never know. It must have been some detonation, but I will never ask her about it or tell anyone else. You are a good friend. She must have been really embarrassed and tried to clean up, but missed it. I stumbled upon my older sister's diary when taking care of her dog. Flipped through out of curiosity and found out that her first boyfriend refused to use a condom when he took her virginity, and she ended up getting pregnant before having an early miscarriage. She's 20, working 2 jobs and going to community college. All this has happened around Thanksgiving. When I saw her at dinner I didn't suspect anything, but she left early due to stomach pain. I can't imagine what she went through, but she's flawlessly acting like nothing happened. Nobody knows but me, and she doesn't know I know, and I plan to keep it that way. TLDR. Found our sister had an early miscarriage after losing virginity. Told no one. I found out that my brother has a brain tumor after accidentally reading a conversation between him and my mum. He doesn't want the rest of us to know, and I want to respect that. Yikes, that's a heavy one. Sorry dude. Near the end of college I discovered my roommate and his sister had a physical relationship. Haha, a girl I dated in college was also sleeping with her brother. I had to walk in on them to figure it out. They moved to California and said they were married. The funny thing is they looked exactly alike. Not twins, but they looked like twins. I came home for lunch one day, I rarely do this, and saw my teenage son jerking off, naked, on the couch with earbuds in. He didn't see me. I snuck back out and got McDonald's. Found a friend's Reddit profile. Apparently he's a cuck. He likes his wife to get physically intimate with random strangers and have them finish in her, and then he likes to clean her up afterwards, and sometimes the guy. He likes to wear women's lingerie while doing it sometimes too. Big rabbit hole I wish I never went down. You have been visited by the distinguished doggo of delicious delicacies. Comment tasty supper, hupper, and be blessed with delectable dishes for the next decade. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.